flops way. But on this road to success, ain't no stops made. Ain't no room for doubt either, so you must believe. Cause the way I feel it, ain't no limits but the speed. I trust in me and put my faith in.
Welcome on into Booby's World with Daniel Booby Gibson and Rafa El Alcalde. I'm Nick Padone. What is going on, guys?
What's up, man? How we feeling? If you want to win, put Booby in. We back for another one. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Summertime vibe. Summertime.
Summertime is here, and you know what that means. NBA draft season is among us, where every offseason, the teams all over the NBA are hopeful that they could land the next young, bright star of the league. Booby, we know that you spent a lot of time scouting at the college level, in the weeds, just grinding tape. Talk to us a little bit about, as a scout, what traits are you looking for in these collegiate athletes that you know from your playing days will make them a good professional?
Man, it's been the best part about getting back into the game is just being able to watch these young guys, like, go to games and, like, see the talent and, like, see the potential of the guys that could potentially make it to that next level. But I always say the most translatable skill, obviously, is shooting. If you can shoot the basketball, you'll have an opportunity to play at the next level. But to me, man, the key to the whole thing is confidence. Confidence and heart. I feel like you could be a good shooter, you could be a good defender, but when you get to the NBA, everybody in the NBA is an accomplished player. They've come from somewhere where they've won or done something. So now you got to kind of fit into a role of figure out, how can I last in this league? And honestly, I've seen guys come into the league with all the talent in the world, but just no confidence in what they do. The coach will tell them something, and it'll just take that one moment for them to lose confidence for an entire season. So I think the biggest thing that I look for in guys is if they having bad moments in the game, how do they respond? How do they finish that game? And that kind of tells me the type of a caliber player I'm dealing with. And those are the type of guys you want on your team, like the guys that don't back down from the moment.
And I think that what you say by confidence, it also translates to between the ears.
Yes,
to
sir.
be able to have that, because you got to have some kind of IQ, not just basketball IQ, but you have that toughness mentally.
Got to have it.
To be able to withstand that. We talked so long about, like, Evan Mobley is such a flatliner.
Yep.
Like, you can't tell whether he's having a good game or a bad game, and that's a great trait.
Yeah.
Because you cannot let your 0-for-5 start rattle you for the rest of the game, because you know there's going to be a time to be able to put up or shut up. Case in point, Jason Tatum, who did the Gatorade commercial for the first 3 quarters, he glitched. And then in the 4th quarter, you know, he rehydrated and came back and did it. But it takes a special kind of human. And the question, basically, that long way to get to my question is there a way that you can evaluate that just by looking at video or watching a kid work out, the mental strength to be able to, like what Jason Tatum did, what Evan Mobley has been able to do? And you know what I mean? Because you mentioned shooting, you mentioned defense, running, athleticism, jumping. But, man, between the ears is so important, especially at a young age, if you're going to come into a situation where you're going to have to play minutes, valuable minutes. The case of Mobley, not all the rookies, like you mentioned a couple of weeks ago, like Paolo Banchero,
who
played minutes, but he wasn't really a pressure of making it to the playoff and winning a certain amount of games.
And I mean, there's like I feel like you can't go to a practice gym and watch these guys shoot and feel like you can go home with that evaluation and be like, oh, he's gonna be big in the moment. Yeah, it was him. He was dunking today. Let's take him. Nah, like the way I see it is you gotta put these guys in adverse situations. You gotta, if you working them out, you gotta work them out till they as tired as they can get. And then put them in a situation where they play or shoot and see how they handle, like, the most adverse situations. And that kind of tells you a little bit about a player. But I'm big on just watching guys throughout an entire season, how they conduct themselves in blowouts, in close games. It'll tell you about the character of a player in those moments. So I just try to keep a close eye on it. And that's just a skill that I'm trying to perfect, because being now working in the Cavaliers front office, like, it's my goal to find guys that, A, fit the culture, and B, have that grit and that toughness to be able to get through a full season, the criticism, the struggles, and be able to still produce when it comes playoff time.
So when you say that the interview, you know, the meal, that obviously there's a workout, there's a there's video, but there's also a meal, a dinner with the family, with the where you get to see what the guy is made of. That also there's a lot of weight put on that, on how the kid
In a way,
kind of like an interview.
It is an interview, and I mean I don't know how much stock the Cavs put in it or any team puts in it, because I also feel like that's like going on the first date with your girl. Like,
but that's what I mean. You have to evaluate, because you don't want he's gonna say the right things.
Yeah.
But I would rather have a guy tell me.
But see, that's the thing. I think one little slick thing the interview they do in the interviews, they ask you a question that they feel like you probably would lie to, just to see how you respond to that question.
Exactly, though. But that tells you a lot about the nature of the person.
Yeah, they find ways to test that character. So I tell guys, I try to give them the blueprint. I'm like, just go in there and be yourself.
Be yourself.
Because you want to go to a team that sees you as yourself. Because you put on that mask, then you get to a team that now they believe in that mask, and you're not that guy. That's how you end up on the 15th spot or off the roster.
No, you're off the roster.
Yeah. So I feel like with my experience going through the draft, I just tell these guys to just get lost in the work, man. Get lost in the grind. Get lost in the process of it. And when you do that, you'll find the right location. The right team will pick you, and you'll find the right situation.
Now, do you recommend to these kids, just go in there and sit in the coach's desk, sit in his chair?
Hey, it worked for me.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm asking you. You recommend that?
Nah, you probably wouldn't let it. You probably get threw out by security, depending on how many 3-pointers you make in the drills. But I just tell these guys, man, to just have fun with the process, because it could be real stressful. Like, you have an opportunity to change your family's life forever. So you go into these meetings and you go into these practices with the weight of the world on your shoulders, and it shouldn't be, because you've been doing this your whole life, and they've picked you to come work out for a reason. They see the talent. So it's just a matter of being able to, Steph and Kobe use this word all the time, it's just being able to calm yourself and get back to who you are in any arena or any adverse situation.
As a player, you played with some pretty solid rookies. Played with Kyrie his rookie year, Tristan Thompson, Danny Green. Was there any player that you knew right away, like, this guy is going to be a star in the NBA?
Kyrie Irving. He
played 11 college games.
It ain't that. See, that was what got me. So this is a quick story. Kai comes in, and you there's the noise. It's like, oh, he only played 10 games, number one pick. Like, just how good is this kid? But if you really know, if you seen some of the hoop mixtapes, you like, oh, he got something, because he might have the greatest hoop mixtape of all time. So he comes into practice, and Byron Scott's there, so he letting us play and run and get going a lot. So I'm like, all right, I'm finna test this kid. I'm finna pick him up 94 feet or whatever. I'm get to the court.
You got a taste of the handles?
Yeah, I slapped the floor. I'm elbowing him, man. Kyrie never flinched. I mean, like, his demeanor never changed. He just turned this way, counter this way, come back, layup. Come back again, do it again. After a while, I'm not picking up 94 feet no more. I'm back at the
You're waiting for
at the 3-point line. But that's very rare with rookies, because at the same time, Dion Waiters, who's my little bro, at the same time, it was the complete opposite. I hack him and elbow him. He going to the refs. He like, man, what we doing? Like, is this what we letting happen? So, like, it was a difference in, like, mentality. Dion Waiters is still a special kid, but the fact that Kyrie came in already just with that mentality, like, I can't be stopped, that's probably why, in my opinion, he's the most skilled basketball player to ever lace him up.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I can't even, like, people try to argue it, but I've never seen nobody be able to handle the ball, shoot the ball, the layup package is so amazing. I've never seen nobody with that much skill with the basketball ever.
Alrighty, we are going to snag a quick break. When we come back, we're doing Booby for 3, but we're going to go through Booby's sleeper list. Prospects that you're going to hear their name called in the upcoming NBA draft. But don't sleep on them, because Booby's going to give you a quick heads up on a couple guys to watch these next couple months. Stay right here with us.
I love it.
Alrighty, welcome on back into Booby's world. It is time for Booby for 3, where every week we rank our top 3 things of whatever the guys want to talk about. This week, we're doing top 3 sleeper prospects for the upcoming NBA draft. Booby, let's jump right into it. Give me 3 guys that you like.
Ralph, like, hold on, I don't know. I got this, Ralph.
This is a Booby for 3.
Hey, remember when we started this? We said we're gonna leave the shooting to Booby.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it to Booby.
Nah, you throw me the lob. I got it, man. Nah, I've been enjoying being on the road and just seeing this process from beginning to end. And so I went to Vegas last week, and there was a couple guys out there working out. A kid, Max Lewis from Pepperdine. He's at a school where it's like not a high major conference. So
That the big kid?
nah, he's a wing actually, but he's just like Jalen Williams, Williams that went to St. Mary's last year. I kind of see a lot of similarities in like the long arms. He's like 6'7", 6'8", can shoot it, can defend. I feel like he'll be one of those guys that's gonna shoot up draft boards. And then I think about a kid, I can't say his name. It's Bilal Coulibaly. But he played with Wembanyama. You know what happens when you're playing with a guy like that? They just gonna put all of the show and all the TV on him, and he kind of gets lost in the cracks. And like you really don't know or be able to see just how good he is. But another 6'7" wing that can fly up the floor, make threes, and defend. I think he'll have an opportunity as well. And I mean, I'm a little biased with this one. I feel like he could potentially be around when the Cavs get the pick in that second round range of 49. I gotta go with Sir Jabari Rice from the University of Texas. He's an older prospect, but when I watched him, his highlights from the G League Elite Combine, he just got invited to the NBA Combine for this week. So I feel like he's gonna continue to show people what he could do, and I feel like he'll be a guy that'll be around for us around that second range, and that's what I feel like we want to find, like forwards, guys that bring toughness, guys that bring that type of energy, because we'll have, if I'm looking at the roster correctly, we're going to have a lot of holes to fill because a lot of guys on like 1-year deals, so we're going to need some new blood.
You know who I like, and I obviously didn't see him much. I do the Final Four and I do the tournament, but I don't really concentrate on college basketball much. But that kid from Miami, Jordan Miller.
Oh, yeah.
He seems to be a really good shooter, very athletic, can get to the basket, can create his own shot. And that's what kind of separates, I think, when you come to the NBA, that you got to do a lot more than just one thing.
Yeah. You definitely got to be versatile, because in most cases, like, they're going to take away what they've seen to be like your greatest or your best attribute. So if in the NBA, you have to somewhat develop a specialty, but be able to do it from all angles. And I feel like kids like that, Calhoun from UConn, one kid that I just want to see do well and want to see get an opportunity is Imani Bates. He went to Eastern Michigan. He started off at Memphis, and he's one of those kids. I feel like he's gotten like a bad rep from like just some off the court issues. But I mean, we all have been 17, 18 years old, and we don't always do what everybody wants us to do. But it doesn't make us a bad kid. You know what I mean? I feel like for him, I think that if the right team gives him an opportunity with the right vets around him, he was one of those kids that was projected like LeBron and Kyrie as like this highly touted high school player. So I still feel like those skills and ability is still there. He might just need the right type of mentorship on a roster that could help him reach that potential. But I want to see him do well.
All I can say is that I'm very happy that there was no smartphones or social media when I was 17 or 18, because there'll be a lot of stupid stuff being posted. That's
a real thing.
Yeah.
Like, this social media.
If we had the ability to videotape ourselves at 17.
Man, this social media make it so hard for these kids to, because now everything is posted. Like, you can't really go anywhere and like have too much fun, because even if you just go out and have fun and somebody record it and an NBA team sees that, they're gonna look at that as like, oh, he's not focused. He looks at it as a distraction. So
what about,
it's a tough age to play in, but
what about that French kid, Victor Wembanyama?
That's
a real thing?
That's a hot take. You think they're taking him number one? Is
he the real thing?
Nah, Vic is the real deal, man. I feel like he's gonna be one of those guys that transcends the game, could potentially change it. My thing is, I just worry about teams taking number ones with those bigs like that, because I just never see you never see them really pan out like that. Like, if you go back to the Bargnanis and the Porzingises and the who else you got? Gobert and the Odins, and like some of these kids that like are unicorn 7-footers, they just end up being like guys that help your team win but don't necessarily take your team there. I personally like the Scoot Henderson kid from the G League Ignite. I think about your Derrick Rose, your Ja Morant, your guys that come into your locker room and just change the culture for about 6 or 7 years and put you in a position to win. So I think whoever gets the second pick on the draft lottery, I don't think they're going to be mad at all.
Hell of a consolation prize. But Booby, I know you threw a lot of unicorns out there. I think Giannis Antetokounmpo was a pretty decent.
Yeah, but he wasn't picked.
He wasn't picked number one.
He was
though.
true,
You know what I'm saying? So
true.
Look at Zion Williamson.
Yeah, if you wait like Giannis, if you get him 13, 14, you're going to give him a chance to grow and get better. But when you pick him as number one,
How high did Dirk go?
you expect him. I
don't know how high.
We got to fact check that one, but that's another one. Like, these guys come in and they get a little time to grow and become who they're supposed to be. But if you pick Wembanyama and all the hype that he been getting, you're gonna expect him to come in right away and win for you.
But again,
Dirk was 9th overall. Guys.
Okay, so he was up there. But I'm saying that's what going back to a conversation and trying to wrap this talk about is that's what the mental and the ability to adjust part comes into play. Because Giannis, I remember talking about that one conversation he had with Kobe.
Yep.
And when Kobe told him, dude, you got the talent to get to here. Now you want to get up to here, you're going to have to be the first guy in the gym, the last guy, work out the whole 12 months of the year, and you're going to have to try to continue to get better. LeBron, the same thing. LeBron has the talent, but nobody outworks that dude in the gym and taking care of his body. When you see everybody coming in with Popeyes and Chick-fil-A bag, he's coming in with his, with his meal and giving his body what his body. I mean,
that's exactly, Rob, you speaking, that's exactly why I wanted the position I got with the Cavs right now, because I had the opportunity to get in the gym with Bron and see the greatest player in the world outworking an entire roster. So now when these guys coming in and they want to be a part of the Cavaliers organization, that's the first thing I tell them. You gotta outwork the hardest worker. You gotta be the first one in and the last one out, or you're not gonna get an opportunity to be successful.
And working your game, our assistant coach Sidney Lowe, he always talks about how in the summer he used to play basketball with Michael Jordan. And they will see how in the game there was one off season where Michael Jordan would come in and he was just working down in the low post. And doing the spin, and then nobody understood what he was doing until next season. They see him going to that move the whole time, kind of like in the Last Dance when he gets manhandled by Detroit, he goes in and lifts weights the whole summer. So that's what you gotta continue to get better, because people would adjust to what you have that season, and I think that what separates, and that's my biggest question to people like Booby and everybody that's in charge. Like, how do you evaluate that and make it match to what you have already?
Sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes you see a guy.
I think most of the time you probably
Sometimes you look at a guy's potential and you see it and you hope that he gets it, but a lot of them don't. You just hope to find that one that has the physical tools that match with the mental tools, and you able to get them out there and, like you said, put in the work, and you see them grow and get better. That's the goal to find.
And that's where everybody too in the organization comes to play. Because like in our case, like a Derek Millander has a job for this summer. D-Mill knows what he has to work on now with these guys, and these guys got to be able to want to be.
Yeah, exactly.
And want to get better and want to get to that point and believe in what the organization is telling them. Because Giannis, I'm pretty sure not even the Bucks thought they were gonna get the two-time MVP and all that from him at that position where they drafted him. But once they see him work and the hunger that the guy has,
that's when you ask. Remember the question you asked me, like, what are the intangibles or what are the translatable skills? If you were able to see like his work ethic, if you were able to see like regardless of if he was making shots, he's still playing hard every possession. Yeah. That's the thing that you say, I'm gonna just bank on that and hope that the skills catch up, because as long as you got the work ethic, the rest will follow.
We're going to snag another break. When we come back, we're going down memory lane. We're talking with Booby about his decision to leave college, head to the NBA draft, and what that experience was like for him. Stay with us.
Oh, bad.
Alrighty, welcome on back into Booby's World with Daniel Booby Gibson. We've been talking NBA draft and these prospects the entire show. let's hear it from you. How did you decide that it was time to leave college and take that next step on to the NBA?
Can we do like an intro? Memory.
Nah, man, that was the toughest decision of my career at the time.
Especially leaving Austin.
Man, 6th Street.
I visited my friend when she was up there at UT.
All I say is the best thing that happened to me was the NIL wasn't in place, because I probably would not have left college if I had an NIL at the University of Texas. But man, my draft process is crazy. My first year, I had actually a better freshman year than I did sophomore season, and I chose to go to school with LaMarcus Aldridge. And LaMarcus tore his hip up that first year. He asked me, he was like, man, would you come back with me? Because we went to school saying we was going to try to get to the league together. That was like the goal. You my big man, I'm your point. We going to make it like that. And so when he got hurt, I feel like I owed him that loyalty to come back to school with him. I probably would have been, I was projected more first round that my freshman year, and then more second round my second year. But we'll get to that. And so my second year, I don't have as good of a season. And so, but I decided to go into the draft because I'm just like, me and Coach Barnes not really getting along like I expected. He kind of wanted me to be more of a TJ Ford type of guard, and I'm more of a Steph Curry kind of guy. Like, I want to shoot. And so I come out, and my first workout with the Rockets is terrible. As we talk about playing at home, I don't know if it was the nerves or whatever, but it's the worst workout I could ever have. And so I go back to John Lucas, who I just give credit to getting me to the NBA. I go back to John Lucas and tell him that, I probably should go back to school based off of that workout. And he was like, nah, from this point forward, there's only one way to go, and that's up. He was like, you've had your bad workout. You see how low or how bad you can be. Now go out there and be yourself. Like, we've talked about this. You shown me that you're capable. Go out there and handle your business. And then my next workout was the Cavs. So
was John already with the Rockets at the time?
Nah, John was just more summer league workouts, not really working for a team. Mm-hmm. And that next workout is with the Cleveland Cavaliers, man. LeBron is in the corner getting a massage in the corner. We got Danny Ferry, rest in peace, Lance Blanks. I did want to say that. He just passed away from a car accident, another University of Texas alum legend. He was there, and I had the workout of my life. Like, I feel like my granny was in the building because I couldn't miss. We had like a drill where you make 3 in a row from 5 spots, and you got like 90 seconds to do it. I think I got to the end with like 40 seconds left. I might have just ripped them all off like that. And then I don't usually dunk, but I'm going through the drills, just dunking everything. And so that just turned out to be one of my best workouts. And literally leaving the gym, I know we got a quick second. Leaving the gym, about to leave, the Cavs was like, man, we got 3 picks this year, and I will most likely take one of those on you. And I just decided to put all my eggs in the Cavaliers basket, and I didn't work out for another team for the entire draft because I wanted them to know that that's where I wanted to be. No other team had seen me. I mean, the rest is history. Brian stamped it, and them guys ended up taking me in the second round, and the rest is it.
Look at that. And here you are on Booby's World. Thank you guys. Back in the land. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Booby's World with Daniel Booby Gibson. Until next time, we'll see you. Peace.
On this road to success, ain't no stops made. Ain't no room for doubt either, so you must believe. Cause the way I feel it, ain't no limits but the speed. I trust in me and